we are going to start by talking about the only thing that anyone is talking about right now, as always, which is the 55th pick of the NBA draft, the most
Every year.
sanctified, important pick
Every year.
of the NBA draft. That's on the top of the list every year. I want your guys' takes on the Lakers taking Bronny, making history as LeBron and LeBron James Jr. Will be the first father-son duo in the NBA on the same team in history. I have a very strong opinions about this, and I'm also curious about your guys' opinions. So, Tyler, what did you think of the Lakers move and what it is for Bron and for his son and for us as fans of their family and of basketball?
It was extreme reactions on both sides of this as expected if the Lakers wound up with Bronny. And I think that just your reaction to this is just a litmus test about how you feel about Bron. That's what it all boils down to, right? Like if you dislike Bron, you're gonna have an issue with this. If you like Bron, you love this. And I think that's just basically what it comes down to because the people who are taking issue with this do not really give a shit about nepotism in the NBA. I'm not really buying that. I don't think because we don't see this outrage for the Nassus. The Nassus is a little jokey joke. You know what I mean?
Right. You
Right,
feel me?
right. Like we laugh at how Giannis pulled that string to get his brother there, but it's like people are not laughing who are against this, right? It's not a little jokey joke with Bronny. People legitimately are upset about this, and I personally do not give a shit. I mean, this is something that Bron has been talking about, being in the works for years about how he wanted to play with Bronny, and we finally got there. So,
And also with the Nationals, we almost celebrated. We just don't laugh. We like, look at him. What a great big brother. You know what I'm saying? But with Bron, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Go ahead.
a lot of people, give the Bucks their props. Like, way to go to keep your star player happy. A guy in a foreign land, and you got his brother there to keep him comfortable, right? Like a lot of us give the Bucks props for keeping that roster spot open for the Nationals.
I mean, for me, when I first heard it, I was just amazed. I'm like, look at this dude, where he's came from, what he's created, and he's manifested his life. He's created the life he's created to this point, where he's manifested his son playing on the same team as him. You know what I'm saying? How fucking truly amazing. And then also I'm like, bro, y'all feel differently, but I'm like, yo, we ain't winning no chip next year. You know what I mean? Bro, might as well play with your fucking son. Go out playing with your shorty. I love it. But regardless, if the 55th fucking pick is the difference between a chip and not, nigga, that is the worst place on the fucking planet to be. When has a 55th pick ever meant anything to a fucking team? Like what, 1 out of every 10,000? You know what I'm saying? 55th picks, if there have even been that many. Like, has there been a 55th pick that made a difference in the NBA? It's just so crazy that people are so mad about the 55th pick. But I love it. I'm glad he gets to play with his son. He talked about it so much. This is like the final, you know what I'm saying? This is like the final thing he wanted in the NBA. He's done so much in the NBA. He's given the NBA fans, you know what I'm saying, as a Bron fan, I say that, so much. And now he gets to play with his son. I think it's beautiful. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And I'm glad the Lakers decided to give him that wish, G. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Manu went 57th. That's like the only player in the 50s who I know.
And then I think Isaiah Thomas went pretty late too, right? Time. Yeah. IT.
He went 60.
Yeah. So I mean, that's two. And how long we've been watching basketball?
Well,
you know
let's,
what I mean?
I've got some stat work, but I want to sit on what John said for a second because that was my first reaction too. My son is just jumping around screaming when the Lakers drafted Bronny because that's his guy. That's Bron's son, and he was just so excited. He was like, "Can you like as a 10-year-old?" He's like, "Can you imagine how cool this would be?" It's like, no, I can't imagine. And, anyone who's a dad has that moment where you're in the hospital, the reality is sitting on your shoulders of like, what the fuck? This is another person. Like, there were 2 of us when we got to the hospital, and there's 3 of us in the room right now. Like, what the fuck is going on?
And when you drive home, it's like, what, I just go home with? Like, you feel me?
You're holding your baby, and you got 2 hands under the head because you're like, is the head going to fall off if I don't? I mean, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. But you're looking at your baby. And if you're, every dad I know, you're seeing into the future. You're like, this person is going to be here when I'm not here. Like, What is the future going to look like? All this other shit. Never in your wildest dreams are you thinking, oh, we're going to be on the Lakers together. And if you can't appreciate, like you talked about with the Nassus, if you can't appreciate, hi, Somi, baby. Hi.
She ran in here.
Somi said, I heard it's a YouTube
said,
live.
we talking babies?
Right. We talking about babies? Let me show you baby. Hair ain't cold, none of that shit, but go ahead.
Somi making her YouTube live debut with the bed head.
Say what's up. Say what's up. He ain't gonna say it. Let's go.
But yeah, I mean, I just, if you can't appreciate the human part of that, then why are you a sports fan? I mean, like, that's, some of that stuff has to mean something to you. But I have two important cases that I would like to make, and I won't be too long on it. But number one is the 55th pick of the NBA draft is not worth jack shit. And number two, Bronny is actually, leave aside, is black nepotism good? Leave aside, are they keeping Bron happy? I think it's a good fucking pick. I think it's a good pick. But let me read you the history of the 55th pick. Patty Mills, I'll tell you right now, spoiler alert, Patty Mills is the only 55th pick you've ever heard. Thanasis was taken 51st in the NBA draft. Once you hit 5 on the NBA draft, if you follow the NBA draft, this fucking crapshoots, bro. It's like, let's take a shot on someone. The dude picked 2 picks after Bronny. They're talking about they could stash him in the G League for 3 years and maybe he'll be a third string center. That's
Maybe.
the level. That's the
He'll be a
level that we're
third,
talking
right.
about in the late 50s in the NBA draft. Okay. Okay. Every NBA number 55 pick ever add their career scoring up, and it's 12,000 points less than Bron. All right?
Goddamn.
There has never been one 55th pick who is an all-star, who is all NBA, who is all rookie, or who is an all defensive pick at any point in their career. That's the level of pick we're talking about. I'm going to run you through these names. Raise your hand when you heard of someone. Isaiah Wong scored 2 points last year. 2 points for the Pacers last year.
I have heard of Isaiah Wong because his
Correct.
last name is Wong, and he played for
Yes.
Miami. Shout
And
out
he
Isaiah
scored 2
Wong,
points
but
in the NBA last year as last year's number 55 overall draft pick. Guy Santos, Aaron Wiggins, Jay Scrubb, Kyle Guy, Arnoldos Kulboka, Nigel Williams-Goss, Marcus Page, Katie Lillane, Samaj Kristen, Joffrey Laverne, Darius Johnson-Odom, Etwan Moore, Jeremy Evans. Patty Mills in 2009 is the greatest 55th pick in NBA draft history. And I like Patty Mills. But that's the pick that you're caping over the sanctity of the Lakers violating. That was 15 years ago was Patty Mills was taken, and is by far the leader in the clubhouse for best 55th pick ever. Now, here's LeBron
Marcus
James
Page
Jr.
should have been a better 55th pick. It didn't work out, though. I liked
I
Marcus.
was about to
yeah.
say, and was Aaron Wiggins, is that Andrew's brother?
Oh,
Aaron Wiggins is currently on the Thunder, and he's like okay.
Yeah.
But I don't
You
think it's
sometimes
Andrew's
get
brother,
an okay player out of that spot. That's your
Sometimes you
ceiling
get a
for
third
55th.
string center, you know,
Yeah.
out of the 55th. You know what I mean?
And
Sometimes it
sometimes you
happens.
get a dude that doesn't play in the NBA. That happens fairly frequently as well. So if you look on the Pro Basketball Reference, if you look at the 55th picks, some of them do not have the blue hyperlink on their name because they did not play in the National Basketball Association.
I mean, a lot of
So-
times they are waived, aren't they? You know what I mean? They don't even make the
Yes.
team. Yeah, so go ahead.
So that's the history of the 55th pick. Now, if all you're doing is keeping LeBron James happy, if it's a Thanasis pick, I still don't think there's anything wrong with that. LeBron James chose to come to the Lakers when we actually were in a bit of a drought of superstars wanting to come to the Lakers. He got Anthony Davis to the Lakers. He got a championship to the Lakers. If you're using the 55th pick, I mean, if you want to say, I don't think they should have hired his homie to coach the team who had no coaching experience, I think that's a
get it.
valid argument.
For sure.
But the 55th pick for LeBron James, like who gives a shit? But the argument that I would make is you leave that aside, and I think it's a good pick. If you're telling me at 55, you have a guy available who was second in the combine in three-point shooting, 19 and 25, who was the 4th best vert at the combine of all of the incoming rookies, who had a very good shuttle drill and all the agility drills were good. Why not?
In a very, very bad draft. You know what I'm saying?
Like, who did you want them to take that you think was going to make a difference that was available other than this kid? And I'm not saying he's going to come in and make a difference, but there's the possibility, there's an upside that because of the medical issues and everything else, that we haven't gotten to see the best version of it. And I'll tell you this, I didn't feel that way before the NBA Combine. I had him where all the NBA scouts had him, somewhere from 100 to infinity. In a 60-player draft. He wasn't there. ESPN had him ranked, guess where? 54th in the draft class after the Combine because he was second in three-point shooting and he was fourth in vert. And when you get down past 50, that's really noteworthy. That's worth a shot where you're not paying very much for it. You're paying something like a 55th overall draft pick. So I truly don't understand from any direction any sort of negative reaction to this. I again, who did you want them to pick there that you thought was going to make a difference on this Lakers team? Yeah, like, give me a fucking break.
Yeah, and I think from a basketball perspective, all they're going to ask of Bronny is to defend and catch and shoot, right? Like, which is pretty much the type of role player you need to be to play with Bron. Like we've talked before about whenever we're discussing which role players will fit with Bron, that question ultimately boils down to, is this a guy who can cash out on Bron's driving kicks more or less, right? And is this a guy who can defend, right? And I think that's all that we're asking of him. And from a basketball perspective, like, Bron is going to maximize you in those areas. And this is a dude who he knows better than anybody. He doesn't watch film on Bronny. He watches games on Bronny in person, right? Like, this is a dude who he knows the type of basketball player he is thoroughly because he lives with the guy. He watched his progression as a basketball player. So from a basketball perspective, I think it makes sense. And like you said, it's a 55th pick, bro. Like who gives a shit? It's a 55th fucking pick.
I wonder how many minutes the 55th picks have played in their career. Like, what's their average point per game? Like, Bronny might not touch the court. You know what I'm saying? He might play 4.5 minutes the entire year, like most other 55th picks. He'll probably he could spend a ton of time in the D League. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like the G League. You feel me? Like, but I just don't understand, like, why people are so frustrated over like you said, Tyler, he's a guy that if he plays, he does fit what Bron needs. But the chances of him playing are the chances of another 55th pick playing, which is it means it's nothing. You know what I mean? So nepotism. If he was a fucking lottery pick, I get it. You know what I mean?
If they picked him 17th, I'd be furious.
If they picked him in the first round, you know what I'm saying? All right, that's kind of nasty. You know what I mean? The 55th pick, literally nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just they gave up nothing there to make a very amazing thing happen. You know what I'm saying? And to keep a guy that, like you said, brought him a chip, came to LA when people didn't want to go to LA. You feel me? When's the last time LA was in the playoffs prior to Bron coming? You feel what I'm saying? Like
I don't want to go back to the before times, dog.
You feel me? Like, dog, you know what I mean? Like, it's nasty. And it's also just ridiculous. Who cares?
I've also been really grossed out by the number of people who are pretending to be arguing on Bronny's behalf. Like, why would he put so much pressure on his son? Is this really what Bronny wants or is it what Bron wants? You don't know that family. You don't know that family any more than the people on TV saying, isn't this a beautiful moment for a father and a son? But for the people saying, like, is this really what he wants? The man's father is one of the richest people on earth, and he had a fucking heart attack playing basketball and chose to come back. Is what he wants to do with his life. Did his dad crack a door open further for him? Without fucking question.
Good for him, because God knows I do the exact fucking same. And if you're a parent and you're not, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying?
But also,
what type of parent is you, nigga?
He got him to the combine, right? The kid showed the fuck out at the combine. The kid jumped 60 spots at the combine.
He didn't shoot for him. Bron wasn't in there putting the jumpers up. He wasn't running the drills for him. And also think about this. People talking about Bron hate. Last year, Bron was at the fucking hospital waving off fucking paparazzi. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Hoping his son was just, we didn't know nobody knew what the fuck was going on. You know what I mean? How could you not be happy for that family? You know what I mean? Like, dog. It's just insane to me. Like, that's what type of hate you have? Where, like, that kid last year was in the hospital. Wondering he's going to play basketball again. Is he healthy? And now he's got his name called in the NBA, playing on his dad's team. His 55th pick matters none at all.
His
and you
hometown
still
team.
find a way to be mad. You
His
still
hometown
find
team.
a way to be mad.
Right.
Come on, man.
I like
Unnecessary.
People,
just
like,
ridiculous.
he's putting unnecessary pressure on him. He's making it about him. His name is LeBron James Jr. And what he chose to do with his life was not make 4 mixtapes and retire. He chose to play basketball. Like,
so you deciding what that man knows, like you know that nigga, you're weird. You know what I'm saying? That's some weird ass shit. He's putting too much pressure on him. What's LeBron's middle name, nigga? What's his favorite meal, nigga? You feel me? You're like, nigga, you don't know shit about this man, but you know it's too much pressure for him. Shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Damn. I be shutting the fuck up sometimes. It's normal. It's necessary at times. Come on, bro. I know what I'm talking about my wife because she be right all the time. Damn, I be shutting the fuck up a lot in this house, goddamn. But anyway, that's another subject.
Yeah,
I be tired of being wrong, but go ahead.
Bro, you just cannot do the whole, well, if I was Bronny or if I was, like, you can't do that, bro. There's just no frame of reference for this. This is that father-son duo is a extremely the most unique father-son duo on the fucking planet in this regard. You know what I mean? So no, it's like you said, we don't know these people. You can't rush to those assumptions because this is just a very, very unique situation where I said there's no frame of reference for it, bro. And especially, you know, I don't want to go Bron after the 2011 finals loss presser here, but bro, like, it's different being an NBA nepo kid and you know, working at a fucking, you know, law firm or a PR firm, and you get your kid a job or some shit, right? Like, it's worlds apart, bro. There's no comparison.
no, there's no compare. The only people who can really even remotely compare to it or know what they're doing is Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr. And you know what the Griffey said? They said, we'll be in the fucking front row courtside the first game Bronny's going to play in because there's not a lot of people who understand how special that moment is, and we do.
Golly. Can't imagine.
Literally can't imagine. All right. I just like... I know this is the general brokenness of this is why JJ Redick would prefer to be an NBA coach over a podcaster, but like, we're just so broken as a sports media and everything. But like, this has to be a referendum on nepotism. Like, is that like the second round of the NBA draft? We're gonna like, is nepotism bad?
The 55th pick is nepotism. You barely made it in. You know what I mean? Like, nigga, you like, welcome to the G League. You know what I mean? Nepotism. That's just nasty, bro.
But I feel the same way as I did about some of the Hollywood nepotism shit, bro. You can debate the moral good or bad of it if you want. It's the same as debating the moral good or bad of my cat chasing and eating a bird. It exists. It will always exist. There's nothing you can do legislatively about it. If a director's kid grew up on sets, guess what he's probably going to want to be? A director.
You feel me?
Like, and I'll tell you right now, my son, on the 1 millionth scale of this, he'll absolutely be one of the 562 high school interns. He's grown up around sports writers his whole fucking life. That's a really easy call. Bro, I won't even be in on the call. The other guys will be in on the call. But guess what? Yeah, he knows how to take stats because his fucking dad's a sports writer. Sounds good.
And also, to your point, Mike, about the combine, this is the one place where with nepotism, you can have hard, objective reasons why this person could be here. He has one of the best wingspans relative to his height in the draft. He has one of the best verticals in the draft. He outshot everyone else at the combine.
Yes.
Like, these are actual reasons that he got drafted. If you want to get real
55th. Dorky with like basketball analysts, the whole height thing, because I'll give you, he's short for the NBA. You talk about a 3-and-D guy, you're not usually talking about a 6'1.5", 6'2" guy. I understand that 100%. Yeah. That's why I wouldn't have wanted them to use the 17th pick on him. But
right.
NBA analysts do not give a motherfuck about your height. They care about your wingspan and they care about your vert. And he had the what was it, 4th best vert. And his wingspan is bigger than Austin Reeves's. He's got a 6'7.25" wingspan. That's your height in basketball is your wingspan. You're not blocking the ball with your fucking head. Like
Also defensively
looking
too.
it up.
Like
That's
you know
what
what I'm
I'm
saying?
saying.
That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I was looking it up. Who is like a body type, like
Gabe
someone who's
Vincent.
short but long arms, good defender. He has almost the exact same height and wingspan as Dennis Schroeder. Someone who is, by all accounts, a very, very good defender in the NBA for guarding point guards. Who like played well against Steph Curry in the playoffs 2 years ago. Like that's the exact
and if he's
same.
not,
and with a lower
right,
vert,
and
with
if
a lower
he's
vert, by
not,
the way.
he's one of the 14 out of 15 55th picks who don't make an impact in the NBA.
Period.
But you said it with the combine. Why have the combine if this kid's draft stock isn't going to go up after the combine? What's the point then? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's the point of having these dudes get together and see who, with the dinner plate in front of you, who can fucking nut up and hit the threes? Right? I mean, like, what's the point of doing it then if it doesn't mean anything to get you into the conversation for one of the last 6 picks of the fucking draft? All right. I think have we covered the
It's
Are we
insane
good?
though, bro.
Good on
I think
Bronny?
yeah. It's insane, bro. It's weird. I was actually surprised. One of the few times I was surprised. I thought people would understand like how amazing that is, and I thought it was a 55th pick. It's nothing. It's meaningless. I was surprised. I didn't get too deep into, but I saw responses. I was like, oh, that's weird. Y'all really ain't fucking with this. And then before us talking, where was a lot of people who generally we agree with wholeheartedly speaking on the, I'm like, nigga, what? It's very odd. You know what I'm saying? But like Tyler said, it's a litmus test. Like a lot of people don't like Brian, and they're showing it because this is truly beautiful, and they gave up nothing to make this happen.
Yeah.
Can I get my not serious Laker hater take off
sure.
though?
I guess.
Do you guys know who Maxwell Lewis is?
I don't know.
You heard that name before?
No.
Maxwell Lewis currently has the lowest salary of any player actively on a guaranteed contract at the Los Angeles Lakers. Maxwell Lewis is probably going to get waived, so Bronny James can have a roster spot. LeBron James is taking the hard-earned money out of the pockets of Maxwell Lewis, a guy who has worked his whole life to get to this place. He has worked his whole life to grind, to get an NBA roster spot.
I'm gonna cancel Maxwell Lewis by the end of this segment.
LeBron James is taking money out of that man's pockets to get his son,
I know Max Lewis.
billionaire,
Max Lewis played at
roster
Pepperdine.
spot.
I do know Max Lewis.
Does
he's
he
not a
come
great
from
dude.
money? Because Maxwell Lewis sounds like a rich ass fucking name.
No, I just look. He black. He black. I looked him up.
No,
I was
he's
trying
good.
to.
No,
Yeah.
No,
I looked him up because I thought the same thing, and I was going to be like, if he was a sharp faced motherfucker, fuck this motherfucker. You know what I mean? but yeah.
Hey, Maxwell Lewis will always have that in-season tournament championship ring. You know what I mean? Like
Can't
he's
take
got
that
a
from old
retirement
Maxie.
plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I like if.
Maxwell Lewis will go overseas if he gets waived and make $500,000. He'll have a great life. You know what I mean? So,
I'm just kidding. Max Lewis will be fine.
Probably play 20 years. But go ahead.
All right. Yay, nepotism. Okay, let's talk about the Lakers. We were joking about how many guys in the draft were there that you had heard of.
You got me feeling bad for Maxwell Lewis, though, honestly, though.
I know you kind of.
I know it was a joke, but I was like, damn, nigga, I'm looking at Maxwell. Not Maxwell.
His Wikipedia says his dad coaches rec youth teams in Las Vegas.
Oh,
you know what I mean? He plays
man.
jazz.
Not
He's a
Maxwell.
saxophonist.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, damn. Like they're gonna cut the saxophonist.
Not the saxophonist.
For this little rich motherfucker.
What a millionaire. Kid. That sounds so nasty. Oh,
Fuck
man.
you, Jackson.
Jackson, you brought some. You really poured a lot of salt in this podcast right now, dog.
That felt pretty good.
Can I tell you my joke take? And then you hit us with a fucking zinger?
Yeah.
It's like you slap
I'm not
slap
trying to see
boxing
if-
and you
I'm not
closed
serious
fist hooked my ass, nigga. Like, come on, G.
I'm
Crazy.
I feel like the James Foundation or whatever is gonna like slide that dude a cool
I would
$2
hope
million
to.
under
I would hope
under his
to.
his door or something.
You know what I'm saying?
I think
They
he'll
can
be
afford to drop a little 10 in there. You know, that ain't nothing. That's light change for a Billy.
Enjoy.
You know what I mean?
Okay, his favorites: enjoys thrifting and playing 2K. Favorites include Kobe Bryant. So he understands.
Don't tell me anymore.
Oh, he's
Don't-
the
don't
Lakers
tell
are
me
his
anymore.
favorite team.
Don't tell
He
me
understands, bro. The Lakers are his favorite
Don't
team,
tell
bro.
me
He gets it.
anymore.
He gets it.
If Max Lewis gets a fat check under his door, I would love 1% of that. That'd be awesome.
Bron
let
heard
me
the
see
pod and
these-
was like, "I'll slide him something." Is that what you're trying to say?
Let me see.
Yeah. If the inspiration comes from this
From
podcast.
Jackie Hoops.
Okay, he's got a Twitter. Let me search Trump on here real quick.
Let's not. Oh man.
I'm
I
just
hope-
kidding. He
yeah.
played with one of
Yeah.
my little homies at Pepperdine. He's a good dude. I got nothing against
Yeah.
Maxwell Lewis, but you know,
Yeah.
maybe they'll waive someone else who Jackson has not given us biographical info on.
Get ready for a night full of big fights and big action. It's UFC 303, and it can be even bigger. Jump in on all the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. It's super easy for first-timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a fighter to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your fighter, and place your first bet. It's that simple.
The light heavyweight title is on the line in the main event, but there are so many more amazing matchups happening in Vegas. And speaking of amazing, if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Jenkins. That's code Jenkins for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Get that big fight feel only on DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.